guys, welcome back to another video. For today's video, I am sharing my tips on building confidence. So I'm throwing it back a little bit to my Mindfulness Monday series that I did in the summer, if you were around for that. I'll actually leave a playlist down below if you want to check out any of the other videos. I wanted to just kind of sit down and talk to you guys about building confidence and how I have learned to be more confident, how I have learned to kind of cultivate confidence. I definitely think confidence can be something that you're born with, but I also think that for a lot of people, some confidence is something that they're not born with. And I think especially if you're going through just times of change in your life, I think it can be really easy to start to lose that confidence if it's not rooted in a solid foundation. I wanted to just kind of talk to you guys a little bit and share just my thoughts on confidence, especially over what I've learned over the last few months, and hopefully it will help some of you be able to apply that to your own life and be more confident as well. So the biggest thing that I have when it comes to confidence, if you are someone that you're trying to be more confident or just feel more confident about yourself, any of that type of stuff, I think that the first step is making sure that you have a really solid self-care routine. And I don't mean self-care in the fact that it needs to be all chocolates and bubble bath, kind of that stereotypical type of self-care, but even just taking care of yourself as a human being. So even just moving your body, working out regularly, or just doing something that you enjoy, even if it's like yoga, anything to get your body moving and your blood pumping, all of that helps release endorphins that will help you feel a little bit happier, and in turn it also will help you feel more confident as well because you're working towards bettering your body. When it comes to self-care, some things that I really love to do, I have cultivated a solid journaling routine. Especially over the last 2 months, I have regularly journaled almost every single day. I would say like 6 out of 7 days a week, if not 7 out of 7 over the last 2 months. That has been so transformative for helping me see where my mindset is, where my thoughts are, and just really getting a feel for where my mind is at. So that's my next tip when it comes to really cultivating a good self-care routine, is to regularly journal. Because when you regularly journal, you start to just kind of see what's in your head that you maybe aren't aware that you're thinking about, and it can start to really show you what your internal self-talk is, which is really, really important when it comes to building more confidence. If you have a really negative self-talk and you talk very down to yourself, you rip yourself apart, you're not even aware of that, you're never going to be able to make steps to improve that. So for me, I found that when I started journaling, I really started to understand my internal dialogue, and that is what has helped me learn how to replace that internal dialogue that maybe was negative and not serving me, to replace it with more positive, uplifting, and affirmative thoughts, which has helped my confidence and helped my just overall happiness too. So I've talked about journaling so much on my channel. If you are interested in just learning more about my process or what I do or how I found it helpful, I have an entire plan with me / journaling playlist that I will link in the description box. But a lot of the videos I upload are kind of targeted around journaling and sort of things to help you with your mental health, that type of deal. Like really cultivate a good sense of a solid self-care routine in whatever way that looks for you. You know, I also enjoy reading. I like to really read good personal growth books, personal development books. I listen to positive podcasts. All of these things are going to help you start having a more positive mindset, which will in turn automatically start helping your confidence. You're gonna have that more positive outlook on things, which is going to reflect in you having a more positive outlook and confidence in yourself. So that's my first focus, is to really make sure you're zeroing in and honing in on your self-care routine. The next thing that has really helped me, and this is gonna sound so cheesy, but it truly has, pay attention to how I talk to myself in the mirror. I think as women, we spend so much time looking at ourselves in the mirror, whether we're putting on makeup or washing our face or like whatever it is, doing our hair. You spend so much time kind of face to face with yourself, and I think it's so important to pay attention to what's going through your head when you're just mindlessly doing those types of things, because those are a lot of times things like putting on your makeup and doing your hair are kind of not, they're kind of, we do them on autopilot, right? So we don't have to put a lot of thought into them, especially now that we've been doing them for so many years, you know? It helps to really pay attention to how you're talking to yourself when you are looking at yourself in the mirror. And now some people might just be thinking of, you know, what's going on tomorrow or what's going on the next day or whatnot. But I know for me, there was times when my confidence was really low, you know, years ago, that I would really be down on myself. I'd be like, oh my gosh, my like pores look like this, my skin looks like this. And it'd be like that scene in Mean Girls where they're standing in the mirror and they were all tearing themselves apart, where the 3 girls are standing and bashing themselves, like kind of like that. That was kind of what my internal self-talk was. That's so powerful because you are literally looking yourself in the eyes and telling yourself these things. Like, it's more powerful than if somebody else was saying them to you. That can be really hard on your confidence. So for me, I really paid attention to what I was saying to myself, and I would start to flip it. So if I found myself saying something negative like, oh, my hair looks terrible, or my skin looks bad, or whatever it was that I was saying to myself, I would try and flip it and find a positive that I could say about myself instead. Like, oh, I really like how I did my eye makeup today. It looks really pretty. And I would try and compliment myself. And the more you do that, the more you start to see those things. That whole idea of like attracts like, you really start to, instead of focusing on the negative and focusing on what you don't like, you're focusing on what you do like about yourself. And granted, that's all on your outward appearance, but that still matters because it's still how you are talking to yourself. That's a big thing for me, is paying attention to how you talk to yourself when you look in the mirror. And that includes, you know, when you're looking at your body too, when you get out of the shower and all of that type of stuff. Really pay attention to what you're saying to yourself when you're looking in the mirror, because I read a book that it's the psychology of it. It's literally worse to say those things to yourself when you're eye to eye to yourself than it is for someone else to say it to you, because you're kind of reaffirming it to yourself. So be aware of that. Things like that will help you with your confidence as well if you start to compliment yourself more rather than tear yourself down. The other thing I want to talk about when it comes to confidence is being aware of what you're feeding your brain. And this is something that is more of a newer development over the last couple years than it was previously for me. But what we put into our brains really affects our subconscious, which in turn affects our confidence, affects our happiness, and all of that. If you're watching like kind of trashy TV shows, if you're watching shows that focus a lot on like appearance or anything like that, you have to be aware that those things are going to affect your mindset and in turn affect your confidence. So I really took this to heart. I am a very minimal TV watcher. I pretty much only watch Friends, and I would say that's about it. I do an occasional, like I watch Stranger Things. I do an occasional random TV show that I'll get hooked on. But as far as my regularly watched stuff, I really only regularly watch Friends and then YouTube videos. And I'm aware of what I watch on YouTube. I don't watch kind of the mindless pranks videos. Not that there's anything wrong with those types of videos. I know that they provide entertainment, but for me and my mindset, I know that if I start to watch too much negative media or entertainment, same thing with like following people on Instagram, on Facebook, like all of that stuff factors into this. So if I start to allow too much of that into my brain, I start to feel a little bit more just down on myself. I get down about my life. I start overthinking things so much more. So I am really ruthless when it comes to who I follow on Instagram, what I pay attention to on Facebook, what I watch on Netflix, what I watch on YouTube, like all of that stuff. Articles I read, books I read, everything that goes into my brain, I'm really aware of what I'm consuming, because I know from personal experience that that can really be detrimental towards my confidence, towards my happiness, and just towards my overall well-being and feeling of contentment. So that's the other thing, is just really paying attention to what you're absorbing, what content you're absorbing. And then the last thing I want to talk about, which kind of goes off of the self-talk I was talking about earlier, but keeping more positive things around you. So when I first started really building this up and changing my mindset and building up my confidence more, I even had post-it notes around my room and on my bathroom mirror of things I wanted to tell myself. And I would actually like tell it to myself. I wouldn't just mindlessly read it and walk away. I like to keep my future boards out right now. I talked about that on an Instagram post if you're following me on Instagram, but I do have 3 future boards that are actually hanging to the right of me. I see those all the time, and they're literally future boards of everything I want to manifest and attract into my life. Having that there is a really positive reminder of where I'm going and the lifestyle I'm creating, and really allowed me to focus more on the positive rather than stressing about the past, worrying about the future. It's helped me stay present and in turn just feel more self-assured on where I'm going, and in turn feel more confident about the self that I'm putting out into the world. So those are all of my tips when it comes to just feeling more confident and being more confident, having a more positive mindset, and all of that. That is today's kind of Mindful Monday YouTuber video. If you're not already, be sure to subscribe. I'm uploading a video every single day in the month of October, and we are already halfway through October, which is so crazy to me. I cannot believe that we're already halfway through this month. It's flying by. And I feel like I have not even done all the Halloween stuff that I want to do yet, and like I need to get on that. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye guys.